Welcome to creating a new customer in Prelude. First off, we want to be sure we're in the Prelude screen. We're going to do a backslash command. That brings up the Prelude process request, and a backslash is the one that looks like that. Once you're in here, you're going to type in CM. CM is short for customer maintenance. The company number, typically for North America, it's going to be 001. I'm going to click the F3 button. The ones that we're currently using is 1 or 001, 002 for Canada, and 005 for AJ Abrams. Now this may change as we go along, but please be sure to use the right company number as this really affects where your customers go. So we're going to, for this example, use 001. And I know that it's a new customer, so I'm going to type in the word new. That'll bring up the next possible account number. So this company is going to be Test Premier, and address is going to be 422 Alexandersville Road. Typically, your bill to attention is going to be accounts payable. If not, I mean, you can put in a customer's name or whoever the bill is going to go to, that's what you want to put there. But typically, it's going to be accounts payable. City, Ohio, 45342. County should auto-fill in once we go through this, and we'll double-check that here in just a minute. Sales rep 1 and 2, you cannot change. It'll change overnight when the system runs. It'll populate the correct sales rep depending on the county that's in here. Payment terms are TB, to be determined. That's how it is right now. You have to get someone in accounting to change that to either a net term or a credit card before an order is placed. It has to be done before an order is done. I cannot express that enough because you'll have to redo the order if you don't do it correctly. Contact, we're going to put test. Typically your contact will be your the accounting contact, so that if they're not paying bills or something like that, you'll want to put in who that contact is, who can we get in touch with to find out, you know, why these bills aren't being paid. And then, of course, the email address. Their website address. We don't typically use that right now. We've put other contact information, maybe a secondary accounting person, or if the company that you're working with has like an AP inquiries. We've done AP inquiries. At whatever. That way you can email that email address to find out how the bill is coming along if that's not the one that's the actual accounting department. Phone and fax, typically you want those again to be for the accounting department so we can figure out who they are. Right now we're not using cell or pager or phone, so we've had other instances of people putting other information in there to whatever it may be, I guess. 782444444. Oops. 937. And as you can see, we use dashes, not dots, not blanks. So that information there is filled out now. We're also, if this was an old Shannon customer, we're putting in an answer there, or an old P21 customer class. That information's also been filled out. So if you know that information, that those two blanks can be entered as well. Then we'll go to F5, additional information. Customer type, we'll hit F3 and then enter through that. And what does the customer do? consulting, construction. Look down through this list, see what's available, and pick one and put it in. So for this example, we'll do industrial. Territory, again, F3, enter, and that brings up the different regions. Be sure you're putting them in the correct region so that the places get credit correctly. And other than that, keywords. If you're if the company is like AJ, there are different ways people put in the description word AJ, but you can come to keywords and you could do A period J period. You could do AJ, other, A dash H, just different keywords in which people might type in to look up a customer. So that's what keywords are used for. It's a great function. If you've got odd companies that have dashes or abbreviations, say for Test Premier, they go by TP, you could put in that. And once somebody does a search for that, for TP, then it will bring up it'll bring up Test Premier. So, and then just click F2 to save. F2 to save again. I'm going to go back to F5. Sales tax. This is where you could put in a taxable or non-taxable. But to do this, accounting needs the tax ID number, and they'll put in that information. So, and then we can go to F7 order. Here we're again at F7 order information. We'll change this to 06 because right now we're using UPS ground for shipping. Then we go to F5 additional information. We put in an E for acknowledge document option and a Y for ship notice. That way the customers get those appropriate documents emailed to them. Invoice document option. If your customer, you can click F3 here. They can do fax, fax and print, print only, which is the N, email only, email and print. Some customers ask that their invoices be emailed to them. That is possible. Again, you just do email, and then during the night it'll email whatever email address you have on that first screen set up, and they'll get the invoice. These other items, we're not really changing any of those. The important one to change again is the acknowledge document option. Change that to an E, and the email ship notice change to a Y. Freight info, I have used this one before. If a customer gives you an account number, you could put in 03 collect and then change this to, if it's UPS or FedEx, whatever the number is there. And then we're going to click F2 to save. Go up here to additional options, instructions. And this will bring up the instructions entry bar. This window always comes up when you do a quote. The instructions are always on that paperwork. You could put in a UPS account number. F2 to save, and then that'll pop up on, again, every order that you do. Typically, if it's a small company and they only have one account number, that's fine to do. But if it's a larger company like Ford, GM, somebody like that, they have multiple account numbers, you do not want to put it under the customer maintenance. I'll show you where to put that in another tutorial for separate locations. We're going to go back to the F7 order screen, and sales comments, SLS comments. Say a customer, typically I'll put a period in here so that it drops down a little bit when people are reading. Must use PO number on all orders. Some companies, if you don't have a proper PO number, it's not going to get paid, and we definitely do not want that. So a sales comment will pop up whenever anybody is putting in a rental or a sale or a shop order. This will pop up, and people should be reading these comments when they are doing orders. So sometimes there's a specific way the PO starts. Must you starts with letter F, something like that. Just as long as we know what we're supposed to be doing. Could be 5 digits, whatever the note should be to make it easy for somebody else to understand what they're looking for in for that comment. I use periods between different things. There might also be another comment. Customer gets 25% off on all rentals. And I forgot, you want to put your initials behind the comment and then the date on what you do it. That way we know who did it and when they did it. So that just helps figure out, hey, what's going on with this? Why was this done? If there are any questions that ever arise. So, and putting periods between things makes it a little bit easier to read instead of it being all jammed up together and trying to read through that. So again, that's why I use periods, just to separate things. We'll click F2 to save. Again, F2 to save. All of our information's been filled out. F2. And here you can see that the county is being brought in, Montgomery, the proper zip code, and we click yes. Go back in and look, and the Montgomery is filled out, the proper zip code's filled out. So Avatax will always try and figure out what the proper information is when you're putting in your company. Now that we've got the company done, your next one is going to be /CSTM and filling out a customer ship to. There is another video on filling out this, so if you want to watch that, then you'll see how to fill out this properly. Thanks.